Welcome back to the Fit Man Podcast, friends. As we wrap up another year and we head into 2025, a lot of us are entering the new year with a renewed commitment to our health and wellness goals. This time, it can be a really transformative year for you. This time, it can really stick if you really pay attention to the points I'm about to make about progress and results and what it really takes to stick with it long term so that you can actually enjoy these results. The first and most important thing to really understand about this journey, and it's not just health and fitness, it's whether it's your personal development, whether it's career advancement, you have to meet yourself where you are. Oftentimes, especially in health and fitness, we're always consumed about where we want to be, and we're measuring ourselves against where we should be. And even me as a coach, I made this mistake earlier on in my career where I was coaching from a perch. I was coaching from up here saying, this is where you need to be. Come, reach me and come and meet me where I am. And that didn't reap as much success as I thought it would. As I really began to understand the human psyche and have more experiences with clients, I realized it was more important to meet people where they are, meet myself where I am, even in my own personal journey. And you have to meet yourself where you are. What that looks like is if you've never been able to go to the gym, say 5 days a week, and you set this really lofty goal about going to the gym 5 days a week because in the next 3 months, you want to lose more weight than you ever had. But you actually don't have a history of going to the gym 5 days a week consecutively, month after month. You don't have a track record of being disciplined with food. Instead, you have a track record of starting off hot and heavy and then falling off quickly after. If that's you, I know you're well intentioned in your actions, but you have to think about what you can realistically do right now. And this could be a bit controversial because on the one hand, it sounds like you need to be uncomfortable and really push past your discomfort and really do something you've never done before. This is true. But if you set the goals, if you set the bar too high, which most of us do, we'll end up, even if we're doing well, because we didn't hit this very high bar, we'll feel like we're failing and feel defeated and eventually stop, even when we're progressing. So even though you're trying to achieve a better version of yourself, you have to work with your current version of yourself. So for example, if you're not the type of person that meal preps and does grocery shopping, cooks at home and eats healthy, but instead 4 out of 7 days a week, you're ordering takeout, you're doing skip the dishes, you're really choosing the quick solutions for food, then setting a goal to say, I'm going to start cooking every day, 7 days a week. I'm going to do all my groceries. I'm never going to eat takeout. You're setting yourself up for failure. There's a lot of space between ordering takeout many days a week and meal prepping and cooking food. There's a lot of space there where you can progressively make your way over to the right side. And this is us not trying to achieve perfectionism right away. This is us not trying to achieve perfection immediately. Instead, we're focusing on progressing in the right direction over time. And this will only work if you're committed to a marathon journey. If you're committed to doing this the right way and putting in the requisite time and not trying to rush this. This is for you if you're willing to do the work. If you're looking for a quick fix, stop watching this podcast. It's not for you. But if you're committed to doing it the right way, what you want to do is say, all right, I know I eat out too many times during the week. How about I set a goal where I make 2 home-cooked meals every week and I commit to that. And if I'm doing takeout, instead of ordering wings and fries, how about I go to the grocery store and pick up some frozen dinners? Now, is a frozen dinner as healthy as a home-cooked meal? No. But is it healthier than wings and fries? Yes. And this is what I mean by meeting yourself where you are. Because it is very difficult to go from takeout to home-cooked meals immediately. But it's a lot easier to go from takeout to something pre-made that's healthier than what you're doing. And then if you're doing a couple of frozen meals a week, it's easier for you to accomplish the goal of, you know what? Let me slice up some chicken breast. Let me put some veggies in the pan, throw it in the oven. Now I actually have a few meals that I've made at home. Setting the bar a little bit lower and hitting these achievable goals goes a much longer way to building your confidence. Meeting yourself where you are means, I want to run a 5K. I don't even walk around the block right now. I don't even go for a walk 2 or 3 times a week. I'm not going to try and run a 5K on day one because I'm going to feel like an absolute failure and my joints are going to hurt and I'm going to be sore for 3 or 4 days. But I can start off with walking consistently. I can start off with 1 minute of walking and 30 seconds of jogging. And then as I continue to improve, I can do 1 minute of jogging, 1 minute of walking. And then as I continue to improve more, I can do 2 minutes of jogging, 1 minute of walking. And then eventually, your body will tell you that you're ready to do continuous running. This is a lot more effective than saying, I need to start running right away. That's how you meet yourself where you are. It also looks like if you've never been able to go to the gym 5 days a week, how about you set a goal for 3 days? You don't need to be at gym for an hour, hour and a half. You can still get a great workout in 40 minutes. So instead of feeling like you need to go to the gym 5 days a week for an hour or 2 hours, which you do not, settle on 3 days, 45 minutes. And when you do that and you see how easy it is, then it instills this confidence in you that, you know what, maybe I can add a 4th day. And when 4 days becomes easier, then you can add a 5th day. Basically, it's much more effective to set goals based on your current ability versus what you think you ought to be able to do. So many of us get wrapped up on what we should be able to do, and we're comparing ourselves to what everyone else around us is doing. That's not your business. The only person you're in competition with is who you were yesterday. And if you can simply commit to doing a little bit better than you did yesterday and stay grounded with simply just that expectation, and you commit to doing that every single day, you will be amazed at how much you could improve in just 3 to 6 months. The other big one is progress is never a straight line. You're going to be doing well for a few weeks, and then you get sick. You're going to be doing well for another few weeks, and then you go on vacation. You're going to be doing well for another few weeks, family visits. But the thing is, those dips are important. Those moments where you're off the schedule a little bit does not mean you're failing. It does not mean you're falling off. It does not mean that the journey is over. This is a part of the journey. But when you get sick or when you have to travel, when there's a little break in your routine, it's actually an opportunity for you to miss the routine, because that's a big issue that we deal with. When you're doing the right things, and even though it's healthy and even though you're seeing the results, it can get a bit boring. It can feel a bit monotonous. And sometimes you might be going months staying on track and things are going really, really well, and then a setback happens. And so getting sick or having to travel or any other changes that happen that break those routines a little bit, and they're unavoidable because this is life. When those moments happen, it's not doom and gloom. You don't have to perceive that as a failure. You perceive that as a necessary part of the process because life happens. Many unexpected things happen. And in those moments, you just remind yourself, okay, well, this was outside of my control. I just need to wait it out. In the meantime, I'll let my body rest. It gives me an opportunity to miss the routine. So instead of feeling like a failure and giving up because you had a setback, you just recommit yourself, go through whatever you need to go through, and then get back to work. If you take all of these points into consideration, what will happen is you're going to end up being more consistent than you've ever been before. And this is how progress leads to real results. Some people in the beginning will experience a lot of quick results because we're going from doing absolutely nothing to doing something. So we feel motivated because we lose a lot of weight quickly, our clothes fit better in a short period of time. But then we try to hold on to that type of success and the speed of those results. But it doesn't work like that. In fact, what will happen is you'll have some initial success, you feel great, but then it begins to slow down. But it's not that it's stopping. You got to think of yourself as a plant. A lot of the work, a lot of the results, a lot of the good things that are happening below the surface. So think of that as the soil. Like if you're a plant, your roots are being firmly planted. And the more they can spread and the more they can be grounded. So as you get into a routine of sleep, as you get into a routine of making good eating choices, as you get into a routine of going to the gym regularly, good things are happening internally. Your physiology is improving. And it takes time before they can actually, just like the plant, the bud popping out of the soil to finally see the light of day. That's what this fitness journey is. Commit yourself to the grind. And it can be months before you start seeing any significant results. But then what will happen is you get to enjoy this really cool snowball effect, where suddenly it feels like changes are happening almost weekly. The scale will start to move quickly. Your body composition will begin to change quickly. But this is only after months of putting in the legwork, because it actually takes months to get into a good routine. And think about it this way. Body changes don't happen like if a car has to make a quick U-turn. A car can make a quick U-turn in 3 seconds. We're more like a big ship. And the ship now, we're going in one direction, and that direction is poor sleeping habits, poor eating habits, no activity. The ship can't make a U-turn right away. It has to decrease its speed. And for you, that looks like start making better eating choices, start getting to bed earlier, start being a little bit more active. And then it slowly starts to turn. That turn is, okay, now you're ramping up your physical activity. Now you're being a little bit more intentional about your food. Now you're able to wind down easier at night, so you're getting better quality of sleep. And then the full turn is when you're more or less optimized with your routine. So now you're following a structured fitness program. You're pushing yourself every day in the gym. With food, you're paying attention to your calories. You're doing your grocery shopping and your meal planning and you're prepping. And with sleep, you're prioritizing your rest. You're getting to bed at the same time every night. You're waking up at the same time every morning, and you're feeling fresh and rested and ready. So that's when the change happens. But it's not an overnight thing. And then you get to enjoy that snowball effect. The next one is, and this is an issue that infects us so much. We live in an age of instant gratification, and we want results as fast as possible. And this is where self-awareness comes into play. Fast results mean nothing. You want to care more about sustainable results instead of fast results. Anybody can drop a lot of weight quickly. Anybody can go on a juice cleanse. Anybody can cut out carbohydrates. We can do all sorts of crazy things to lose weight in a short period of time. But is that what you really want for the long term? One, it's not sustainable. You're never going to be able to do that for the rest of your life. But two, do you really want to? Do you really want to be so afraid of food that you're just drinking juices and avoiding all the things that you like? Or would it be more appealing if you can actually enjoy the foods you like in moderation? You don't have to deprive yourself of anything. All you need to do is cultivate better balance. Sustainable results when it comes to food look something like this. Every week, we have to make 21 food choices. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. 3 meals over 7 days. That's 21 choices that you get to make. Even if you make 3 choices that are not aligned with healthy eating, you've still made 18 good choices, which is about an over 80% compliance rate. If you're making 18 good eating choices every week, those 3 choices where you indulge a little bit are not going to harm you. Now, it's not black and white, because if you are completely irresponsible with those 3 choices, then you risk undoing the work you've done with those other 18 choices. So you still have to have some mindfulness about it. But that's what you want. Food should not be this overindulgence anyway. If you're always thinking of food in terms of good and bad, and I have to eat this, but I really want to eat this, that's a recipe for an eating disorder. That's a recipe for a very dysfunctional relationship with food. But simply focusing and being present more times than not with your food is already a step in the right direction. So take these points into consideration. Approach 2025 differently. Commit to the journey. Commit to the marathon. Meet yourself where you are. Focus on developing habits that you can sustain, that are a match for your lifestyle. And remember that progress is never a straight line. There are always going to be dips. There are always going to be bumps in the road. Remember that progress implies setbacks, that stuff's going to happen, but you just have to keep pushing forward. And remember that this is a marathon. And the longer you stick with it, even when you don't see the results in the beginning, as you push through, things will begin to snowball for you and the results will come. And you're going to continue to improve. Remember these things and you're going to have a transformative 2025. You got this.